Tinubu to release Nnamdi Kanu in 7 days. Everywhere don't scatter as what power issued a deadline. My people, in fact, I am overjoyed with this information that has just entered our very studio. I greet everybody out there where they listen to me through this very channel. You are all welcome to yet another very, very interesting episode. I want salute una where they spend time, where they spend data, where they spend hours to dey watch our video. In fact, una too much, una too much, una too much. This is a question of world power intervention. Antonio Guterres, yes, the man, one of the top leaders in the US, has finally come up with an ultimatum to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, telling him, look, only 7 days and Nnamdi Kanu must be released, or else. Though he didn't reveal what might be the punishment or the action that will be taken if the IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu is not released in 7 days. Now, tension is everywhere in the southeast. Biafran supporters have called for a total sit at home and mass prayers for Kanu's release. This is no longer just a local issue. Now, this is now an international showdown. When I remember I said during the Muhammad Buhari's tenure, don't give up, my people, because already the time has finally come. Asking Nigerian government to release Nnamdi Kanu since that time has finally come. The late Muhammad Buhari refused to act till today. Now they are still dragging Nnamdi Kanu. Many people have been talking, why are these people not taking action, not knowing that they are waiting for the right time to come, and that time is now. Following this very news, you can now see that this is the time. So it's either Nnamdi Kanu is released, or Nigerian will completely shut down or face sanction. This is not good at all for a country like Nigeria. Yes, because the global legal action is about to fall on them like never before. Now, the indigenous people of Biafra is now taking action. Now, he has blamed this continued detention on what he described as legal error by his former legal team and executive overreach by the federal government. In a statement issued on tax day in Abuja, yes, it has been stated that the government of Nigeria exploited procedural missteps to extend Kanu's incarceration despite a 2022 ruling that had discharged him. Now, pointed to the October 13th, 2022 ruling by the Court of Appeal, which discharged Kanu because the court lacked jurisdiction to try him. That ruling should have ended the matter. The failure to enforce it was a critical error. In fact, yes, he explained that the federal government of Nigeria wrongly used October order and also the 6 rules order. Now, the Court of Appeal ruled a civil procedure that challenged a criminal discharge, thereby reopening a case that had been legally terminated. This was a colossal legal blunder. The rule is meant for civil appeal, not criminal wounds. He should never have applied by going along with this. Mike Ozekume, the lawyer, effectively allowed a dead case to be reopened. He added that the petitioner also for the Supreme Court for accepting the appeal court, despite the Court of Appeal decision that Nigeria has crossed jurisdiction to try Kanu due to his unlawful extradition, extraordinary rendition from Kenya. emphasized that a discharge based on lack of jurisdiction is equivalent to an acquittal, citing the Supreme Court precedent in federal government versus Nnamdi Kanu. He further criticized the use of the Terrorism Prevention Act PTA 2013 when he said had already been appealed and replaced by the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. In May of the same year, Kanu was charged. You cannot revolve or revive a dead case that bases on the law. Now, in brackets of this Interpretation Act 1964, okay, which says repeal does not revive a proceeding that was dismissed. He said section 108(1) in BR 2 in bracket permits the continuation of existing cases does not apply because the Court of Appeal had already struck out Kanu's case. Expressed sympathy for Kanu's current legal team, whom he said interpreted a case made by serious errors and limited options for redress. He also urged Kanu supporters to remain focused and united. The real enemies are the abuse of the law. My people, no be Nnamdi Kanu. You can see that Nnamdi Kanu is on point and the law is no longer against him, and that is why Nigerian government are now using political move to keep him in prison. That is why there is no any tangible evidence to prove against him, and that is why if you watch it very well, even in court, Nigerian government, they keep beating around the bush. They don't even have anything serious or anything tangible to say, yes, this is what this guy did, this is what he did. They keep beating around the bush, bringing masked men in courts, who have no solid evidence, but rather than beating around the bush and saying what is not in the evidence is submitted. My dear listeners, I tell you that this calls for a celebration and a jubilation, because Nnamdi Kanu has already beaten Nigerian government a hands down. All right, please, I would like you to not to just subscribe, but to share this very video, because it's worth it. Everybody must be aware of what is currently happening and what the Nigerian government has really cost. They must bow, whether they like it or not. Nigerian government must bow and they must surrender. They must surrender. I tell you, whether they like it or not, they must surrender, and they must pay for what they have done. Because to me, what the Nigerian government have done to the IPOB leader is a complete error. Yes, it's a complete error, and no one must take it. The Biafrans must not take it. Exactly. So please, let me quickly hear from you. As I've said, please, thank you. This is Déädline TV.